नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल। ये संजीव चंद्रा है बीबीडी से। यहाँ मैं जिस दौर से ये देश गुजर रहा है, इतनी गर्जिश में, जहाँ पर भी पेपर में पढ़िए आप, और ऐसी स्थिति है जहाँ पर हमारी संविधान की धज्जियाँ उड़ रही हैं। अब ध्रुवीकरण सांप्रदायिक ध्रुवीकरण चरण पे है। ऐसे समय में हमारा जो उच्चतम न्यायालय है, उसकी भूमिका और उसकी स्वतंत्रता इस देश के लिए बहुत ही अहमियत रखती है। ये हमारे लिए बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट। ये संविधान लिखा था अम्बेडकर जी ने, और अम्बेडकर जी तो आजकल बिक रहे हैं, सबसे बड़े गेम खेल रहे हैं इसमें आम आदमी। बीजेपी तो कभी इसमें इनकी कभी क्या कहते हैं सीरियसनेस थी ही नहीं, पर आम आदमी भी आजकल इसको लेके अपनी गुड्डी उड़ा रहा है। पर having said that, Supreme Courts in two of the ex-colonial colonies has shown that it's been able to stay the government, the central government down, which is not that easy. As Peter Ronald D'Souza writes, when the judiciary stands up, Supreme Courts of Kenya and Pakistan have had their own HR Khanna moment. They have upheld constitutional values against the executive excess. This is important. He says one could argue that these are unique episodes in otherwise weak judiciaries, as is the reality in many post-colonial societies, including that of India, right? But in both Kenya and Pakistan, in the last years, there have been other examples of such judicial independence. In 2017, the Supreme Court of Kenya nullified the election of the president because the process was seen to be compromised and beset by irregularities. In 2021, Pakistan Supreme Court instructed the executive through the Evacuee Property Trust Board to rebuild from its own resources a Hindu temple that had been vandalized and to recover the expenditure from the vandals. But the latest, which is what happened in Kenya, where essentially there was a process to circumvent the constitution, was nailed by the Supreme Court. And similarly, what happened with what was happening where the Supreme Court struck down the decision of the Deputy Speaker in Pakistan, which was denying the no confidence motion. It's important. And in India, and then in the United States, a very important thing. Senate confirms Jackson as first black woman on US top court. In India, a couple of really good decisions. Supreme Court scraps Mishra bail in Lakhimpur killings. Then Supreme Court stays UP decisions to take back land allotted to Johor University. And what do we have there? On bail, SC sets a precedent in cancelling Ashish Mishra's bail. It upholds victims' rights. Lower courts must take note. PILs seek SC help on Jahangir Puri MP demolition. Now this is the other part that where our personal rights are being destroyed, is without providing them due process. People's houses are being raised by this new bulldozer Sarkar, the Shivraj Chauhan, and now that gentleman in Gujarat. God knows where we are going, right? Here the Supreme Court must step in immediately. 65 years is too early an age to retire, says CGI. Absolutely right. If you're going to have a PM, a president, and ministers, and everybody else post 65, Supreme Court, hey, you got to do it. Will hear petition against electoral bond scheme, says CGI. About time. This is where the maximum corruption has happened, courtesy this bond was created for the BJP and only for the BJP. Top court may resume hearing in electoral bonds case. CGI stresses need to fill judicial vacancies, and here again very critical, the government is denying it. See, what is happening is the government loves any process where justice is delayed. They're not very serious about, they don't even understand that justice delayed is justice denied, because they thrive on it, because all of them are steeped in corruption, not just the BJP, never, every politician, right, is part of it. CGI says need a body to observe agency, restore CBI credibility. He's nailed it. The CBI is nothing but it was a talk, what is it, cage parrot, was the BJP kept saying cage parrot. These guys have taken it to another level. Cage parrot, forget it. The parrot lives in Modi's and Shah's home, man. He lives in Modi's and Shah's home. Cheers.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं संजय शर्मा। आप देख रहे हैं 4 PM न्यूज नेटवर्क। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 130 करोड़ लोगों के मन में फिर से भरोसा पैदा किया है। उनको यकीन दिलाया है कि इस देश में कोई कितना भी पैसे वाला हो, कितना भी ताकतवर हो, लेकिन संविधान से ऊपर नहीं है, नियम कायदे से ऊपर नहीं है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आज मंत्री के उस बेटे की जमानत रद्द कर दी जो सत्ता के नशे में था, और सत्ता के नशे में जिसने किसानों के ऊपर गाड़ी चढ़ा दी थी। बहुत बड़ा कांड हुआ था, पूरे देश में इसकी गूंज हुई थी, और लोगों ने कहा था कि ये आखिर इस देश में हो क्या रहा है। 30 अक्टूबर का दिन था, किसान एक प्रदर्शन के बाद लौट रहे थे, और मंत्री के बेटे, गृह राज्य मंत्री के बेटे आशीष ने गाड़ी चढ़ा दी थी बेकसूर किसानों के ऊपर। 8 लोगों की मौत के माध्यम से मैं हाईकोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजों से हाथ जोड़ के अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं, मिलोट सरकारें, कोई भी सरकार हो, लोकतंत्र की हत्या करने में कोई किसी से पीछे नहीं रहता। वो सारी आवाजें बंद कराई जाती हैं लोकतंत्र में जो सत्ता प्रतिष्ठानों के खिलाफ बोली जाती हैं। मिलोट ऐसे लोगों का जो लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए अपनी जान जोखिम में डालते हैं, उनका भरोसा आप है। हो सकता है आपके व्यक्तिगत
So folks, as you can see, I'm in Bhagwa colors, right? But दिल भगवा नहीं, दिल है हिंदुस्तानी। हिंदुस्तानी जहाँ संविधान सबसे हमारे लिए सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है, संविधान जहाँ पर भेदभाव बिल्कुल नहीं है, ना ही क्या कहते हैं सांप्रदायिक भेदभाव, ना ही ऊंची स्वर्ण जाति नीची जाति भेदभाव, ये दिल है हिंदुस्तानी। While these guys are spreading the good cheer and demolishing all these structures of only one community, the minority community, the country is going to have a difficult time if they don't watch out, right? Country likely to get normal monsoon rain this year, says SkyMet. Normal monsoons at 99% of LPA likely this year, says IMD. And I think this is the biggest BS as you probably have, because the heat wave that's already hit India has already had this issue. Heat hits wheat as India plans to scale up exports amid war, and then fertilizer crunch looms, high global prices, no import contracts. A good monsoon, a bad monsoon. The other important part, this bullshit they give us about SkyMet and IMD both are absolutely clueless about the distribution, and the distribution is the critical part. I mean, you can have a whole bunch of rain in just half a day, which happened last year, but then in that case your crops get destroyed, right? Or you can have it in a place where there's no agriculture and it's wasted. So get real, you IMD guys. Get real, you SkyMet guys. Don't give us this BS to just bring the good cheer to generally the stock market, right? Here's the worry. Wholesale inflation shoots up to 14.5% on price fuels, and this is the other bigger worry. Sensex tanks 1,172 points as foreign investors continue to offload stocks. Stock markets globally, folks, have been living on easy money from the United States and the West. It's nothing to do with our economic performance. It's got nothing to do with the numbers that are coming out of our companies. So and they're kind of unreal, right here. Global policy tightening may precipitate rocketing inflation. Growing concern as wholesale inflation up to 14.55%. Pressure on retail prices. Trend reversal with CPI inflation converging towards WPI inflation a worry. Abu Dhabi IHC to put 15,400 crores in 3 Adani countries. So you can know how crony capitalism works. I don't know who Adani is fronting as far as the Indian government, the BJP is concerned, but obviously Abu Dhabi is the other place where there's a whole bunch of what I've heard, slush money coming in from India, right? Yields spike to new high on inflation worries, rupee tanks, retail inflation climbs to 6.95% on food prices, and here, that bad dream comes back. India's weekly COVID cases up 35%, first rise since January. That, and folks, that sinking feeling.
नमस्कार, मैं दीपक शर्मा और मेरे इस यूट्यूब मंच पर आपका स्वागत है। दोस्तों, देश में तकरीबन 12 स्टेट्स ऐसे हैं जहां मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन, मुस्लिम जनसंख्या 10% से ज़्यादा है या उसके आसपास है। और इन राज्यों में मैं लक्षद्वीप या जम्मू कश्मीर की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं ज़्यादातर उत्तर भारत के राज्यों की बात कर रहा हूँ जहाँ बीजेपी फिलहाल कामयाब है। और ऐसा कहा जाता है कि जीतने के लिए जो एक मोदी मंत्र है इस वक्त जो उत्तर प्रदेश में कामयाब हुआ, वो मंत्र है पोलराइजेशन, कम्युनल पोलराइजेशन, सांप्रदायिक ध्रुवीकरण, हिंदू मुस्लिम ध्रुवीकरण। सवाल यह है कि क्या हिंदू मुस्लिम के अलावा, इस कम्युनल पॉलिटिक्स के अलावा कोई और विकल्प है जो बीजेपी को सत्ता तक पहुंचा सके या वहां स्थिर रख सके? आज मैं इसी पर बहुत सी बातें कहना चाह रहा हूं, और वो क्या कारण है कि बाकी मुद्दों पर मोदी लगातार फेल हो रहे हैं और घूम फिर के जो राजनीति है वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ हिंदू मुस्लिम है। एक बेहद संवेदनशील विषय पर, एक बेहद इंपॉर्टेंट इशू पर, और मैं ये भी बताना चाह रहा हूं कि बाकी मोर्चे पर वो क्यों फेल हैं। इस पर आज बड़ी बहस होने जा रही है।
Sampradayik Dhuvikaran is, really, it's right on the peak. But obviously global attention is on Russia, so we're being able to avoid the impact on our foreign policy. But this is not going to be for too far. Plus, the other thing is, you've seen the same thing happening in Sweden against the Muslims there from the right wing. Then you have Jerusalem, 152 injured in clashes at Jerusalem, holy site. So this is being... So we're being able to hide behind this and pretend everything is hunky-dory. But it's not, right? Because you got things like this. Hindus must have more kids or we'll become Islamic nation, says priest. This is in Shimla. India, unshakable culture of harmony, inclusivity, says PM. I won't even say which face he's able to say this when you see things like this. It's not government's job to tell people what to eat or not. So hardly sabka saath, sabka vikas. Communal tension flares up in 7 states. Petty politics, nada hits out at opposition letter over violence. This is like the pot caroling the kettle bracket. That's a big fat nada. Opposition target against government on communal violence, and it's time to speak out. It's got to stop being soft Hindutva. There's got to be hardcore humanity, folks. Hardcore humanity. No bhajans on speakers near mosque around azan call. This is in Maharashtra. Some sense sounds from mic should be limited to premises. No new permit. UPCM, something smart, right? If it disturbs the population, it should not be done, right? Procession that sparked city riot didn't have permission. This is the big one, right? And it's called something. It's called the I'm not sure. Communal clash on Hanuman Jayanti in Delhi. 6 policemen among injured. 21 arrested amid uneasy calm after Delhi clashes. 143 held as violence erupts during processions in 3 more states, right? Delhi clash. Act without delay. Conduct a fair and impartial probe. This will be the best antidote to the communal poison, right? Probe will go beyond caste or creed, says police. It really never has happened, especially not with this Gujarati fellow being the chief of police in Delhi. Peace shattered as stones and bricks fly around. Shobha Yatra. Yearly affair held with prior permission, says cops, and now I'm told, now this is how it's been contradicted. Now today they're saying there was no permission. At Dwarka farmhouse, man killed on suspicion of cow slaughter, eh? And this is where you see the poison is gone, right? 28-year-old man arrested for Odisha in GitHub case, and this is how you remember the old case where they were a kind of hawking Muslim women. Hate app accused a repeat offender and a youngster at that, right? Sully deal app creator arrested. Thakur, 26. This was again the old time, right? I've kept them all. Clashes in Goa, 13 held out on bail. Accident sparks violence in Vadodara, 22 arrested. Fresh case of stone pelting in Gujarat town. CM holds meet, 31 arrested so far. Priest who gave rape threats to Muslim women held in UP. God knows, man. Fresh arson in Madhya Pradesh. Home Minister blames Tukde gang. Now, Home Minister, folks, in Madhya Pradesh is actually the real McCoy. 4 held for vandalizing Muslim vendors, pushcarts, bomai, those provoking people to face police action. Fresh clashes in Odisha town. UP saw no riots during Ram Nami, says Yogi. What a bullshit artist he is, right? Haridwar hate speeches. SC asks Uttarakhand for status report on FIRs. ABVP plans sound war Chalisa on loudspeakers. Like, grow up, right? BJP Surya stopped on way to riot hit Karoli. The Surya fellow is showing up all over the place just like that Mishra fellow is, right? House of accused in MP clashes, raised probe on. Need Supreme Court here. No one has right to raise home sans probe, says CM. Hey, House of Muslim man accused of kidnapping Hindu women set on fire. This is Agra. 18-year-old UP resident quizzed over hate chat on Clubhouse. Mob attacks Thana in Karnataka over WhatsApp posts. Oh man. Retaliate with optimum strength to attack on Muslims, says UP cleric. Oh, jump in, right? Curfew in Maharashtra city after clashes over flags. Mahasabha puts out loudspeakers in Aligarh, starts airing mantras. Riots accuse house raised after serving notices officials. UP houses burnt over interfaith development. Okay. And then what does the government do? Government plans to reach out to Christians amid attacks, anti-conversion law, FCRA. Now Srinagar Crops posts video to show terror targets all faiths. So not just Kashmiri Pandits, right? Temple festival begins with recital of Quran. This has been happening for 15 years in Karnataka, folks. That's India. That's our religion. Jai Hind.
नमस्कार, मैं दीपक शर्मा और मेरे इस यूट्यूब मंच पर आपका स्वागत है। दोस्तों, पिछले कुछ दिनों से 10-12 दिनों से जिस तरह की एक बेचैनी हिंदुस्तान में दिख रही है, अक्रॉस स्टेट्स, अक्रॉस इंडिया, एक अजीब सा अंडर करंट हिंदू मुसलमान का, कम्युनल पोलराइजेशन का, और जिस तरह 10 राज्यों में खासकर रामनवमी के दिन जो हिंसा हुई, घर जले, मकान जले, कई लोग मारे गए और आप कह सकते हैं 400-500 लोग घायल हुए, उसमें कुछ बुरी तरह घायल हुए। और हमने दृश्य देखा कि किस तरह से कुछ लड़के मस्जिदों में चढ़ रहे हैं झंडा लेकर, और ये दृश्य वाकई संविधान के लिए तो चुनौती है ही, आंखों के लिए पीड़ादायक है, शर्मनाक है। और हमने ये भी देखा कि किस तरह बुलडोजर चलाया गया चुन चुन के उन बस्तियों में, उन घरों में, उन दुकानों में जो किसी खास संप्रदाय की थी। और ये जो फुटप्रिंट्स हैं, ये फुटप्रिंट्स, ये जो कदमों के निशान हैं जिसके नीचे दंगे की आहट है, वो चाहे गुजरात हो, चाहे मध्य प्रदेश हो, वो जो कर्नाटक हो, जहाँ जहाँ चुनाव होने हैं वहाँ खास तौर पर पिन पॉइंटेड कम्युनल वायलेंस हुई है। और एक मैसेज जो इमर्ज हो रहा है, एक पैटर्न इमर्ज हो रहा है कि अगर कोई कमजोर है तो छेड़ेंगे भी, पीटेंगे भी, मारेंगे भी, घर भी गिराएंगे, जेल भी भेजेंगे। शासन एग्जीक्यूटिव है, एक फौज है आईएएस, आईपीएस, पीसीएस, पीपीएस अधिकारियों की, वेल ट्रेन्ड ब्यूरोक्रेसी, कानून का पालन कराने वाली एजेंसी। और कहने वाले ये भी कहते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान में एक बहुत ही सशक्त, पावरफुल मीडिया है। आज मैं इन्हीं सबको खंगालना चाहता हूं कि ये जो दंगों का जो दौर है, ये क्या रुकेगा
या ये सिलसिला हिंदू मुसलमान मस्जिद पे चढ़ना, पथराव करना, गोली चलाना, आगजनी, या ये सिलसिला बढ़ेगा 2024 तक, बढ़ेगा एक खास मकसद के साथ। और